As Hiram Maxim moves from the U.S. to England to work on a new invention, he arrives at a worn-down warehouse to finish the first prototype. Hiram Maxim's invention and the use of machine guns from 1884 to 1918 represents a major turning point in history that changed the nature of warfare. The creation of his first practical, fully automatic machine gun, made in 1884, marked the new beginning of his new era in weaponry. By World War I in 1914 through 1918, the machine gun had become a dominant force on the battlefield, inflicting devastating casualties and trauma never seen before. This script will examine how the development and deployment of machine guns during this crucial period altered the psychology of war and produced unprecedented loss of life, making it one of the most significant military innovations in modern history.
To the American inventor Hiram Maxim. In 1884, Maxim created the first fully automatic machine gun. This was a revolutionary breakthrough in firearms technology. Previous rapid-firing guns, like the Gatling gun, required turning a crank to manually load each round, but the machine gun allowed a single gunner to ring continuous fire without pause. Maxim dubbed his invention the Maxim gun, and it could fire over 600 rounds per minute, far surpassing any previous weapon. The introduction of this first true machine gun changed the nature of warfare forever. Maxim's gun became a popular weapon across Europe and saw its first major use during the colonial conflicts in Africa in the 1890s. By the early 1900s, machine guns were a standard part of the arsenals of all major armies. When World War I erupted in 1914, the machine gun took center stage as a dominant force that shaped the world's high casualty rates and trench deadlock. Though early 20th century military tactics had not yet adapted to this new technology, the staggering firepower of the machine gun in defending entrenched positions doomed the outdated mass infantry charges across open ground. The Maxim gun mowed down men by the thousands, making World War I one of the deadliest conflicts in history.
Psychological impact of the machine gun in World War I. The Maxim gun and its equivalents brought about a fundamental shift in the psychology of soldiers during World War I. Machine guns produced a psychological terror and helplessness never seen before. To face a barrage of rapid fire, even from a single machine gun nest, meant almost certain death. Soldiers lived in constant fear of the machine gun's wrath. Its ability to swiftly kill dozens made it seem like an ominous mechanical specter on the battlefield that was devoid of humanity. Soldiers had to resign themselves from the violence and losses that they have experienced.
This trauma was unique to the new reality of industrialized mass killing that the machine gun represented. In many ways, the machine gun was the embodiment of the cruel randomness and inhumanity of death in modern war. This physiological scarring and trauma from the machine gun's domination reveals why World War I was such a watershed in the inhumanity of combat. The most quantifiable impact of the machine gun in World War I was the horrendous number of casualties it directly inflicted. Although estimates vary, machine guns were responsible for possibly over 80% of all casualties caused by small arms during the war.
A single machine gun nest could halt an entire assault, mowing down dozens of men in minutes. The Battle of the Somme in 1916 highlighted the machine gun's ghastly effectiveness, with the British losing nearly 60,000 men on the first day, alone in the face of German machine gun fire. One account describes a Vickers machine gun crew firing non-stop for 12 hours on the Somme. They shot off over 1 million rounds and inflicted thousands of casualties. These astonishing numbers were not possible in the age of the machine gun. Overall, the war resulted in around 40 million casualties across all countries involved. This previously unthinkable death toll was a direct product of the machine gun's emergence as a dominant weapon of the war.
By 1918, strategies focused more on small unit tactics and using machine guns to support troop movements in coordination with artillery badges. Heavy use of machine guns formed the core of defensive positions. Offensively, the Allies employed the creeping barrage technique of artillery shells preceding an assault to force enemy troops to take cover and allow Allied infantry equipped with many light machine guns to advance during the barrage. Machine gun teams protected the flanks of assaults and provided close fire support. The machine gun has become an integral part of modern combined arms warfare. Its roles in both attack and defensive evolved to maximize its strengths. By the end of World War I, the machine gun joined artillery, tanks, barbed wire, poison gas, and airplanes as fundamental innovations that changed the battlefield.
The creation and initial use of the Maxim's gun during World War I left a lasting impact on military technology and warfare. Its formidable firepower and psychological effect forever changed combat, leading to strategic and tactical adjustments in logistics and training for major armies. This influence extended into World War II, resulting in numerous casualties. Variants like the .30 and .50 caliber machine guns are still in use today, and the automatic assault rifle owes its existence to the sustained rapid-fire model of the machine gun. In essence, the machine gun's influence rippled through 20th and 21st century warfare, making the period from 1884 to 1918 a pivotal moment in military history, as it marked a shift to highly mechanized lethal warfare.